with the KX News Storm Team.
Welcome back to KX News at Noon, and we have a pretty interesting picture showing up on our KX Cam network. About 70 degrees, the same temperature there along the US 2 corridor from Minot to Williston, but a 20-degree difference from Bismarck to Dickinson, or at least about a 19-degree difference. And that's courtesy of some showers that are rolling through the Dickinson area right now. Just a few light showers with maybe a weak rumble of thunder as well. Those are going to be drifting off towards the US 83 corridor as we get to maybe the 1 to 2 o'clock hour roughly. We don't expect these to get much stronger. Should just be maybe a few sprinkles or even a little bit of a rain shower there in Bismarck, and maybe even Minot could get clipped by some of this later. This is associated with a cold front that stretches from about Minot down to Dickinson, and that's produced some pretty breezy northwesterly winds up towards Williston and the northwest part of our state. This is what the pattern is looking like right now. We have moisture continuing to stream out ahead of the cold front in eastern North Dakota, much like we were seeing yesterday, except now it's suppressed to the eastern half of the state now that this cold front is pushing through, and this is going to help keep a lot of the storm action off to the east of our area. Fortunately, we'll have capping in place across Bismarck and the US 83 corridor that should prevent any severe weather from really getting going there. It's mostly going to be off to the eastern tier counties of our region where we're going to be watching for potential severe storms, and then of course out to the Fargo region well east of us. And if I zoom out just a little bit extra, I just wanted to kind of point out what is providing this cold front. It's this classic extratropical cyclone. See this comma shape on the infrared satellite picture that stretches from about Saskatchewan over to Ontario. This is a classic cyclone system that has a cold front that is just barely clipping us. We're actually on the very southern periphery of this cold front, and that's why this cool down isn't going to be too crazy. I'm only considering this mild temperatures, not even really cool temperatures, and that'll bring us down into the 70s just in time for Friday. But just wanted to point this out. What a beautiful system this is up there in central Canada. Temperature-wise right now, behind the cold front, we are sitting in the upper 60s to right around 70. Notice those green colors behind the front, but ahead of it we are already into the mid 80s, and I expect that we're going to be getting up to the 90-degree mark over in Bismarck and Flasher, Mobridge, areas out ahead of the front before it gets there, before we cool off just a little bit. It won't be a drastic cool off, but it will be at least something as we get near Friday. Forecast highs, as I'd mentioned, are right there in the low 90s across the southeastern counties. Might be a little bit cooler than this once those showers get through in the next couple of hours, and back behind the front generally going to be sitting in the low 80s to upper 70s approximately. And as we push through the remainder of the afternoon, as I mentioned, going to be up near 90 in the next few hours, but cooling off into the mid to low 70s and eventually some mid 60s as we get into the post-sunset hours. And the Storm Prediction Center off in our eastern counties, as I'd mentioned, has a bit of a chance for some severe weather before that cold front gets there, but it's not expected to be very widespread, maybe a few severe storms possible. And tonight we will be cooling off well into the 50s and even some upper 40s possible up along the Canadian border. Now taking a look at Williston's next 5 days, that cool off will be noticeable there on Friday as we get back into the 70s, but then warming right back up to seasonal averages for August, and Dickinson quite similar, upper 70s possible there on Friday, but then back into the 80s just in time for the weekend. Not too bad. Monday will be in the upper 80s, and Minot's next 7 days will be cooling off into the upper 70s again for Friday, then back to seasonal normals just in time for the weekend and next week. Bismarck quite the same. A few showers possible here in the next couple hours, but then we will cool off in time for Friday and warming to seasonal normals by next week. Amber?
Thank you, Michael. I'm loving this new hot temperatures.